Good morning, everybody. Not doing anything in particular this morning, just kind of going through my little morning routine out here watering the garden before this sun comes up. It's supposed to be something like a heat index of 102, 103 today, but we're going to be getting rain for the rest of the week. So this will probably be the last time I'm going to have to water, at least for the next few days. But it's pretty much my everyday routine. I come out in the morning. I don't do a full soak of the garden, but I just kind of give it a little drink, and I'll come back out in the evening and give it another drink in the evening. And that seems to be have been working for the whole time that we've been out here doing this. So I'm gonna just turn this camera around so you guys will see what's going on out here. Got my little trusty wand in my hand right here, what makes it so much convenient. But you can see right here, I got some string beans coming up. These are contender beans here. These are some of the things that you can still plant in the month of July. So a lot of people are giving up on their gardens during this summer heat. Over there you can see where my black beans, this is where my black beans are here. I'm gonna let this water down for a minute. These are my black beans here, and they are ready to be harvested. And then we're gonna be putting us some alfalfa over in this bed here. As you can see, everything's still green, lush. There's some paprikas right there. I got the Hungarian wax peppers, or a lot of people call them banana peppers, but these are actually Hungarian wax. That's why they grow so big, because everybody asks me how big, how those my banana peppers get so large, but they're actually Hungarian wax peppers. And you can see on this one here, the big variegated leaves. This is one of the seeds that I got from Mike's Chaotic Gardening, and that's a fish pepper there. But like I say, the garden she's still putting out. Got some harvesting I need to do. Got an eggplant that's way past. Look how big that baby is. Yeah, she's way past due. I've been feeding the roly-polies, and where you don't see them at is up on the plants. Now, what I have discovered that something that I think I may have stumbled upon unknowingly. I'm not even going to pretend like this is something that I was trying to do. I'm going to stand in front of this amaranth here. This is a Love Lies Bleeding amaranth. Now, you can see here where this is where the seeds will be, and it's a pseudo grain. So you can eat this like as a cereal, or you can eat it as a grain. But I'm going to turn the camera around so you can kind of see what's going on with it. This is flea beetles. Now, you might say, well, why is that a good thing having the flea beetles here? Because normally the flea beetles will be over here on the eggplants. So looks like we've given them an alternative. They actually like this amaranth a lot better than they like my eggplants. And I think I like that idea a lot better. So if I can keep the amaranth growing somewhere near my eggplants, so this is a good thing. And it looks like even for the Japanese beetle, even the Japanese beetles this year have not been bothering my eggplants. I got more of the amaranth growing out here because I also use the amaranth as a fertilizer. So you can take these greens and mix them back into the soil, and they have a high nitrogen content. Who's in the chat this morning? Good morning, Angela Nash. Let me see if I can scroll down this thing and see who I miss coming in. I usually don't do lives, and you guys know that. But I just decided it was such a beautiful morning that I was gonna come out here and just walk around the garden, just kind of show you guys what I see every morning. And this is what keeps me going and staying out here in the garden. Got a little rain yesterday, and we're gonna be getting rain for the next 5 days, which is in the forecast. So that should tone that temperature down a little bit. We have some lima beans coming up. Lima beans are great for this heat. They'll go all the way up to anywhere from 90 to 105 degrees. So you're gonna be real good with that. I finally got my butterfly peas are really coming in now. You see they starting to vine up, and they'll cover this entire trellis, our little A-frame trellis. You can see these butterfly pea flowers all over. They'll just kind of take this whole thing over. A whole lot of what we're doing is just really allowing the garden to dictate what it is that needs to grow during that particular time of the season. So a lot of us are trying to grow things that we probably shouldn't be growing. Look at this. It's that Vigo garden planter. And I got some more down here. Every time somebody asks me about one, I'll pluck a couple of them out of here and give them away. But these are black pearl, and the seeds on these things are going like, I think 25 seeds for $10. So this is a black pearl, and you can even see, let me see if I can get in there and show you you see that baby in there? That's what they look like. Pearls. Look how beautiful those leaves are. This is not a purple. They are actually black. I got another one down here. And she's got a little more green in her because she's not getting all that sunlight. But the more sunlight they get, the darker they get. And this is how I give them away when I get my little black pearls, because they grow crazy. Here's the okra that's been chopped down. We've given it a haircut. So we went all the way across our okra, and what's that gonna do? She'll start putting off side shoots. So if your okra is about 5 feet tall, just go ahead and hit it in half, and she'll start putting off side shoots, and that's gonna start kicking in a lot more okra. Same thing with this one. All my okra, I do the same thing with it. We'll go out here and look at this, our sweet potatoes that we put in. Okay, baby, they're just standing up. And again, the Japanese beetles. If you raise sweet potatoes, you know the Japanese beetles love sweet potatoes. They're really not bothering the sweet potatoes this year. These are the Georgia Jets, and these here are our Asians, or as some may call them, Marsakis, I believe, but those are purple. And right here, we have our almond tree. We put this in this year. That's available on growingoutthebox.com. So we'll be having our almond for our almond milk. Feeling good this morning, about to get out and run some errands. Got to go put some tires on my truck. So I said, you know what? Let me just open the door and let the folks in and see what it is that I have going on every day. These are Armenian cucumbers. She's putting out too. Got my Asian long beans. Some people call them Orient Wonders mixed in with them. But this is how I do. I net them as soon as they start coming out. But I got them all over the bush. She is a prolific producer. And again, this is the Armenian cucumbers. They will grow up into 110 degrees. So while we struggling trying to grow all these cucumbers, like the straight eights, just get you something that's going to fare well for you for the conditions that you're growing in. And again, the peppers, they all kind of get a little shade down here with the cucumbers draping into it. Got my dark opal basil mixed in with it. Like I said, the garden's not really missing a beat. Some more of our Hungarian peppers, or wax peppers as you all call them. Some beautiful little baby bells. Some echinacea mixed in for our pollinators. We got another little black pearls stuck in there. Come over here. That beautiful butterfly pea coming up. Now the idea for the butterfly pea here, I wanted this to kind of taper off and grab a hold to all of these little beams here, and they'll start wrapping up, and you can see where it started doing that here. And then you got some more paprikas. Look how beautiful that is. It's fish peppers. They're like an umbrella. That was not done intentionally. I don't know what made that do that. I'm gonna step back so you can see it. It's kind of built like an umbrella, so I'm gonna have to stake that up a little better. But she's coming in that second half of the season. This is Mike's Chaotic Gardening. I got these seeds from, and this has these beautiful variegated flowers. Look at the beautiful variegated leaves. So yeah, we just out here, just like I say, taking you through what I do on my mornings. Uh, oh yeah, there's something here I know you guys probably interested in. That's that squash cage. We're gonna call it a squash cage, but really you can grow anything in it. I've already got it staked up. You can see I got my rocks going all the way around it. So we don't have to worry about any weeds or anything growing up into the area. It's a custom bed that I built myself to fit the exact dimensions of this thing here. It's the little squash bed. Even got these little brackets here, and they were pretty cheap. I think I got a set for $50 each. And those are the pergola brackets. See that, the pergola brackets. Even got the footing brackets. So I didn't have to do any digging this time. I just nailed those in. Those come with like a 2-foot stake on the end of them. And you basically just prop them in. So you can see I hadn't even bolted them in yet because I'm still working on this. But what I'm gonna do up top, I'm gonna have some cable wire going from end to end, probably do 3 cable wires up top. I may even get a little fancy and put some of the boarding that I use over on my fence over there. I'm thinking about putting like a little board grill to block out and just kind of give it a whole little perimeter going around just to add a little more foundation to it. Right here we have got some of our, as they say, tomatillos. I've been saying tomatillos, but I've been corrected. So that's pretty much what we got, man. It's summertime in the middle, July, and we still, I mean, the garden is just giving off. I'm gonna take you over here, show you we have some more of our purple hull peas coming up. And all of these things are stuff that we can still grow in the month of July. The thing is, we have to stop trying to grow things that should not be growing. So yeah, purple hull peas coming up. This is my second round. And you can see I still have a lot of the remnants from the ones I've already harvested, and I leave those up just to act like a diffuser from the sun. Doesn't do much, but it does a little bit to keep those seedlings just somewhat protected until they get up well enough to where they can kind of fend on their own. And then what they'll do is they'll latch on to these and pull themselves up into the sun. The purple hull peas. Isn't that pretty? And they'll go to that dry stage. Brian MacArthur, appreciate that. That's super chat. I really appreciate that. Again, I may be doing a little more. This is what I like doing as far as sitting and doing the lives. I was watching G Mama Grows, right? So I really have to give her credit for inspiring me to do something like this because G Mama Grows does her little lives in the mornings where she's basically out walking around the garden, just doing what she does in her morning routines. This is a little more natural for me for doing the lives. Now, the only negative to that is it's hard to communicate when you're trying to walk around and show things and talking and working. And let me show you here. Let's see, we go down the chat a little bit more. See if I can see. Brian MacArthur, I appreciate you, man. South Georgia, I see you. Dr. Sev Talks. Hey, Dr. Sev Talks Money. Appreciate you. How that blueberry bush doing for you over there? I know you got those sweetheart blueberries that I sent you. So I hope they're doing well for you. Good morning to you, Angela Nash. Good morning to you, Darren Walker. Good morning. Let's see here. Duncan Vaz. And like I said, I'm trying to look at this thing with the glaring of my screen here. Let's see. G Mama. Hey, G Mama. Just speaking of you, so I know you probably heard me just give you a little shout out. And I'm gonna say it again. G Mama grows. She do her thing over there on her patio with her plants. And I watch her in the morning when I'm, out and about. And that was one of the reasons why I say, hey, let me try something like that because it's a little more natural for me to just be out and around, walking around the garden as opposed to sitting at a desk and just answering questions. And we maybe do some more of that, but for right now, I just wanted to kind of take you guys and just show you around the garden, something that it's always staged and everything's always put in place. But I just want you to see that my garden really looks the way that it looks. So I'm gonna flip the camera around, just kind of give you a little panorama of what's all out here. And this is my heart bed here. I don't even think I've ever really showed that in detail, but it's actually a heart. And you can see it a little bit from there. Now the reason why I did it that way is my wife went out and bought these little statues, right? And at the time, she wasn't really coming out to the garden as much. So I said, you know what? Let me do something to kind of get her involved with the garden. So she likes to bring the pretty stuff out here. I'm going to tell you just straight up. This is not me. She bought this. All of these little pots. She bought all the pots that you see out here. I would never. I'm gonna tell you honestly, I would never spend money on stuff like that because I'm a DIY type guy for the most part. So everything that I see, I always see a way to get it cheaper, or or should I say, least less expensive, not cheap, less expensive. And I'm gonna turn you around and just show you what I'm talking about. You see that right there? That's one of my dryer drums. This is a dryer drum. I got this from the salvage yard for free. Put me a little bead around it. So now it becomes a tomato cage. I'm gonna show you something else. You see this right here? This is what I grow my strawberries in. They're looking kind of rough right now, so we're gonna have to replace them. But this, if you've ever been in like a Costco's or one of those big department stores, this is a roll-up door cover. That's what this is. It's a roll-up door cover, and all I did was I took me some corrugated steel, made the ends on it, a little custom curve because I do a little body work for cars. So I made me a little custom curve that goes around it and then slapped it on some conduit. This is the electrical conduit company I was working with was getting rid of a lot of this stuff. I came out and welded it together, made me a frame, put me another little frame on top, a little wood frame needs to be restained. And that's what we call our strawberry planter. Now we went a little step further with this now, because growing out the box, you be doing too much. I got drain plugs under the bottom. So it'll fill up to right here where the top of the tube of the drain plug is. So this holds water so I don't have to worry about watering it. I never water this. So, but it'll drain from here. Got a drain plug here, drain plug there, and a drain plug there. And the reason why I put the nibbles on here, or these nodules here, is so I can actually put tubes on it. So if I had a plant down here and I wanted to run the excess water that comes off of here and just instead of just letting that excess water just run off into the ground, I can run that back into another pot. So you would be multi-purposing and water conserving at the same time. So I just be on trying some different kind of stuff all the time. And I'm gonna show you something else here that a lot of people told me couldn't be done. But growing out the box, you be doing too much. These are citrus. And this is Miwa kumquat. You can see she's putting on flower and fruit. So there's no question about whatever this thing is growing in, it's working. You can see the new growth here. All of these are good telltale signs. And look at how green the bush is. This is a Miwa kumquat. Flowers all over. Not just flowers, but she got fruit everywhere. Miwa kumquat. Bees love it. Fruit everywhere. Just let you see what's going on down here. This is a living soil. This is not what everybody else is telling you to do. This is a living soil. Once again, this is a Eureka lemon. Now she doesn't have any fruit on her, but this is what she do have, and that's new growth. All that new growth. Now all of them had to transition over into this, and you can see where she's putting off little side shoots. All of that's new growth. Same thing. And I'm gonna tell you guys, I'm gonna do a whole video on this. Now this is a ponderosa. She is crazy new growth. Look at all that. She don't have any flowers yet, but and this is like I said, the middle of July. No burn. But see, part of that is I have this strawberry planter here to diffuse some of the sun that comes in because the sun comes in from the other side of the garden. So I put these on the back side just to get a little bit of that evening protection from the sun. Again, that's a ponderosa. And this is what a ponderosa looks like. Look at that. And she'll get bigger than this. And yes, she does. She has more than one fruit. She has fruit all over her. Got green those leaves are. Now, it took them a minute to transition and get comfortable into this growing medium that I got here. But you can see she's putting off fruit. She's putting off fruit. This one's probably I'll probably remove this one. But she's putting off fruit. Same thing in that same growing medium. Now, this is a living soil mix. Let me see if I can get into a position where the lighting, because I can't really see the screen well. Let me see if I can pull down to the bottom. Is that Spooning with Sunshine? I see her in there. Thank you for the super chat. I really appreciate that. Spooning with Sunshine, y'all got to go over there and check her out too. Her and her guy, they grow some nice stuff out there in Alabama. I'm over in Georgia, Zone 8A. Let's see. I'm trying to get down to the top and get to where I can see the chat because I can't really see it out here with this light. I'm gonna just get down to the bottom. And I appreciate you guys for coming out this morning, just hanging out with me. Spooning with Sunshine, I see you. Lynetta Lawson, I see you. Let's see, Phyllis Lewis. I'm trying to see. Cash Flow, what's up, Cash Flow? Um, so Blitz. We're gonna see if we can get you over. Let me see if I get somebody to come over here and read the chat. Come over and read some of the chats for me. I got my wife out here. She ain't gonna get on camera, so. But I'm gonna see if I can get her to read some of the chat because I can't see anything with the glare that's on my phone. I got a cover on my screen and it's putting off a glare. So we're gonna see if she can get her to read some of the chat so we can kind of communicate. I'm gonna go back over here. This is back over to our love. I call this my little love bed here. That's that heart. But you can see here we still got tomatoes, beautiful tomatoes. Let me see if I pop this off. Look at that. Isn't she beautiful? Now, this is actually a seed from a hybrid that I've been growing for the past few years. It was initially a F1, what was this? Um, a Goliath tomato. Yeah, this was a F1 Goliath tomato. And I saved the seeds from it. And I've been growing this seed for probably the last 3 years. They don't get as big as the original. So there's that truth that we're talking about when we start talking about your hybrids will never come true to the original. But look at how beautiful this is. So I'm not even sure what we're going to call this because we can't call it Goliath anymore. But this is a beautiful thing. It's very rare to split. I'll pull another one off of here. We got someone saying, hey, from the UK. Who is that? I mean, the person. Now, here's my fig tree. I had to take one of my blueberry bush nettings since the blueberries are done and had to throw this on the fig bush. But she's putting out, and the birds were going insane. And these are brown turkeys. Let me see if I can pull one of these things off. Going here. Caroline Design. Hey, from North Carolina. Go up in here and pull one of these off. This is what you call a druplet. You see when that fig starts drooping like that? It's actually what they call it. It's called druplet. When it starts doing that, that tells you that it's ready to be harvested. Now, the unique thing about these figs, you just pop them off at the end. How beautiful that is. This is a brown turkey here. Pull off a couple of these while we're here. They don't last long once you harvest them. Oh, we got South Australia in here. Now, that's one thing I will say. I've been getting a lot of people from the UK joining the neighborhood. We're going to say, hey, neighbors, because that's how we say it over here. We call not subscribers, not followers. We call them neighbors. And this is what I'm saying is, welcome to the neighborhood. 4-year cycle from the UK is in here with us. But, oh, yeah, my son, actually, what part of London are they in today? Yeah, my son is over in London today. So they did. They're doing one day over there. They're train hopping over in Europe. So we'll be in Europe from the 7th. What was it? From the 7th? From the 7th to the 20th, we'll be in Europe. We'll be in Spain and then going to Po, France. So might Food by Faith. Food by Faith is over in Germany, so we may hook up with Food by Faith while we're over there. Unbiased LLC. What's up, Queen? Unbiased hit you with that king and queen, so I had to go in and roll with that. Oh, David Corey with the crops. He in here? Okay, that's what's up. I appreciate you coming in, man. And here we go with our legumes. Again, one of those things. Now, this is what we're talking about right here. Look at that baby there, that Japanese beetle. Now, normally, and we just kick them off of there. But for the most part, the garden has been doing pretty well. But these are peanuts right here. And the unique nature of the peanuts. I always tell people, and they're always fascinated by this whole concept. And it's good that you're able to see it live with me. Peanuts do not grow from the roots. Let me make that perfectly clear. Peanuts do not grow from the roots. Right here, you'll see these little flowers. And there's an ovary at the end of those flowers. When those flowers fall off, they'll turn into pegs. Those pegs will tap down into the soil, and then that's where your peanuts grow from. So people think that they grow from the roots, but they actually do not grow from the roots. Let me see if I can find, okay, here's a perfect example right here. You see that? That's the ovary at the end of this. That's where the flower has dropped off, and then it turns into a peg, and that peg taps into the soil. That's where your peanuts grow from. And there's the mighty Marcello. Look at him in hunt mode. He does a pretty good job of keeping the squirrels and the birds out of the garden, but man, they've been tearing that fig tree up. So I'm having to come out every day and get what I can off of it because you know figs don't last very long. Let's see, we turn this around. Let's see what else we got. I can show you guys over here on the other side here, tucked away. Some more of our eggplants. And these are the ichibans, I guess that's what you call them. Peanuts don't need a lot of water, but I'd water everything in my garden every day. And here you got, this is the one thing everybody's asked me for, is these black cherries. And you can see they're starting to take on that color. And I'm doing more of the black cherries this year. And they take off during this hot summer. So you can see how beautiful that plant is. It loves the heat, the black cherry. So I tell everybody when you get ready to go into that summer part, that hot part of the summers, the black cherries is something that I transition over into. This is where I was growing my squash at. Since I'm not doing the squash out here anymore, I went ahead and put another black cherry over here. Got some Swiss chard there. But no, the peanuts, going back to the peanuts, I water everything in my garden every single day, twice a day. But I give them just enough to see them perk up. And then by the end of the day, you'll start to see them, start to droop a little bit. But I'll go back down and I'll water them again at the end of the day. Like I said, my wife's out here, she's kind of reading the chat. So if there's anything that you're interested in seeing, let me know. Be more than happy to show you. Like I said, over here with the my other fig tree here, and this is the third year. Got big that baby's gotten. That's her third year. Now she's a little behind with the fruit, so no need to cover her. But you can see she has fruit all over her also. And this is a brown turkey. Go out here. And this is it's 4 fig trees out here, and they've kind of went through the pots and gone into the soil. I'm not sure where exactly I want to put them at, or even if I want to allow them to be grown in the ground because they're going to get big. But you can see she's starting to put on fruit as well. And this is a black mission here. This is a yellow long neck here. This one here is an Olympian or Olympic. And here's a Mexican sunflower, Tithonia diversifolia. I can't see the screen at all, so y'all have to forgive me because that sun's coming out already. That's why I wanted to get out here. I'm gonna have to follow G Mama's routine and get out here a lot earlier. But yes, I would love to have them. And let me show you something else here. My blackberries or the blueberries. Yeah. Now, check this out. When everybody think the blueberries are done for the year, this is to bless your heart. She's making a comeback already. Bless Your Heart's been fruiting for almost a month. So if you're looking for a blueberry bush that fruits the longest, the Bless Your Heart is my longest fruiting blueberry bush. She's been fruiting for almost 3 weeks to a month. I'm going to say close to a month right now, and she's starting to put on more flowers. You see right here. So this thing has been going for a month and starting to put on more berries. Now the sweetheart over here, she'll fruit again going towards the end of the season. Matter of fact, you can see her put on a few berries right now. This is the sweetheart, and this is the one that I sent out to a lot of you guys in the last live that we did. So this is what you're gonna expect from the sweetheart. She's gonna start putting off sporadic fruit throughout the season, but as we start getting closer to fall, she'll put on.
Sonny, he's new to your channel.
Who's that?
Sonny,
Sunny?
he's new to your channel.
Hey, what's going on, Sonny? Welcome to the neighborhood. Just kind of showing the blueberries right now. Again, this is the sweetheart, and you can see all of my bushes have new growth coming in. And we have yet to do our fall fertilizing, so we'll be doing our fall fertilizing together. What is this? The Hello Darling. And she put off, whoa, how much we get off of the Hello Darling this year? I think close to 35, 40 pounds between the three. 40 pounds of blueberries. Yeah, it's another Hello Darling here. This is a Northland. And you can see all the new growth. This is a good sign. You always want to see that new growth after they fruit. And look at what you got going on the tip. Looks like the Northland is trying to put off some more. So, like I say, healthy bushes. Yeah, it looks like the Northland's trying to fruit again. Hmm, that's a new one on me. But I walk you over here and I give you the row that I have with all of my cuttings. All of these are cuttings. These are the sweetheart cuttings. And this bush I did last year, and this is from my sweetheart. And you can see she has a little berry down there. She's already put off for the year, but I removed the berries. That's a sweetheart. This is a sweetheart. This is a sweetheart. That's a sweetheart. These are chandlers up front. These chandlers were grown from seed. So anybody want us to know, is it worth growing from seed? Absolutely not. I would never grow another blueberry bush from seed. The Chandler is the same age. Let me go back over here. The Chandler is the same age as these sweethearts. Now they're comparable in size, but of course the pots are slightly smaller, so we're going to accommodate for that. But they have yet to fruit at all, not even put on a flower. And they still real tender. They got a little height on them, but they're real tender. But these were grown from seed. And the reason why I did that is because a lot of people ask me questions about the blueberries, and I want to be able to firsthand relay the information rather than something that I just read in the book. So if anyone were to ask me, is it worth it to grow from seeds, blueberries? Absolutely not. Because again, those are 2 years old. These bushes are 2 years old or going into their second year. They're the same age as these. These have already fruited. They fruited this year. Every one of these fruited this year. They had berries on them. Every one of these, this is O'Neill. She fruited. Look how thick see how thick those branches are. And every one of these are real thin. Again, these were grown from seed. So she's very immature. Yeah, somebody hit that like button. I appreciate it. Like I say, I just appreciate you guys coming in. I'm gonna back down to the blueberries. I don't know what I'm doing. This we y'all. I'm in Georgia Zone 8A. And who was that asked that question? Benja. Okay, Benja. I'm in Georgia Zone 8A. Metro Atlanta. Um, y'all went with me when we went and purchased these. These are the Georgia gems that we got from Hall's Nursery over in we went to Memorial Drive and got these Hall's Nursery, but they're all around the Metro Atlanta area. Super chat. And who was that? Patriot. Let's see a $10 super chat in there. I appreciate it. That's from Carter. Um, Again, this is a Northland. This is a cutting from my Northland, and this is has some very special meaning to me. I guess I'll just touch on that. My sister-in-law passed away last year of breast cancer, so that's why you see in all my videos I still rock this bracelet. I'm gonna get a little emotional, so I'm gonna turn this camera away. 2 weeks before she passed, she called me and she called me, Mr. Chapman. Mr. Chapman, would you happen to know where I can got me a blueberry bush from? Now she knows that I grow blueberries. So I said, well, who's the bush for? And she said, well, it's something that I wanted to do. just get out and get my mind off some things. And I had two of these cuttings that I had taken from my Northland. And I took one of them over to her and I gifted that other Northland to her. And 2 weeks later, she passed. Um, for me, the blessing in that was she was looking for that peace that she often hears me talk about when I'm in the garden. So that Northland is a very special plant to me for that reason. We'll go back down. Mhm. Somebody say I remind them of their uncle. I appreciate that. But like I said, I'm not gonna. Oh, I'm gonna take you over here to let you see my grapevines. I never really show my grapevines. They're I haven't really focused on them this year because I like to kind of give you the whole picture. But y'all was with me when I planted them. But these again, some of those dry drums that I have. Got my little beads on the top. And this is Mars. This is a blue Mars right here. This here is a Concord, and they'll be on a two cordon system, so where there'll be a cable wire here and a cable wire there, and that cable wire go all the way back to this side here. And then I'm gonna have this trellis here, this little thing. There'll be another one here, and then another one here. But I keep getting sidetracked by doing different projects. Let's go out here. I'm gonna show you. We got some citrus in the ground. We're in Georgia Zone 8A. So if you tell me what you can't do up here, growing out the box, gonna try it. This is a brown select satsuma. And she's got fruit on her. Brown select satsuma. You can see something's been eating at it. But at the same time, look how healthy and green these leaves are. It's a brown select satsuma. She's in the ground and she's been putting on some really good growth. And I'm gonna show you the difference. This is what the leaves look like when I first put her in. And this is what that new growth looks like after fertilizing and giving her some of that good compost along with that mix that I'm putting in over here. This one here, this is a Pansaris trifoliate. And this is where I get all my rootstock for my citrus. This will put off what they call a bitter orange. Some people call them bitter lemons, but that's a Pansaris trifoliate. And it's a pretty nice sized lemon that it'll put off. This has been in the ground now. This was actually the first plant that I put back here in the garden before there was even a such thing called a garden. Pansaris trifoliate. She's about 10 feet tall now. I think that's about 10 feet. Yeah. You see these massive thorns on it? Oh yeah. And she will stick you and you will swell up. So you got a couple of birds that'll nest in here. It's a good protection for them. Then I'll go out here all by her lonesome. This is our moringa. It's courtesy of Miss Linda here. And you can see when I put her in, this is how tall she was here. So she's gotten 3 times that height. And she'll probably get close to 10 feet, I'm thinking, before. Brian MacArthur got a super chat. I appreciate that, sir. Again, like I said, I'm trying to. I can't see anything on this screen being outside, but like I say, anything that you guys want to see, just let me know. My wife's out here, so it's my little fire pit area here where I do my little biochar. You can do your own little biochar. Huh? How old is the citrus tree? This tree here is 5 years old. This is the first thing that I ever put back here before it even was called a garden. I had no idea what I was doing. I'm not even gonna tell you that lie. I put this in the ground. It's a Ponsyrus trifoliate, a citrus. And this is what you have on most of these. You look right here. This is what that is. This is your rootstock. If you have a citrus tree and it's on a rootstock, that is the plant that it's on. That's a Ponsyrus trifoliate. Cut this off and then graft it on to that tree. It'll take on a lot of the characters of this tree, which is cold hardy down to negative 10 degrees. So this is going to be, again, my rootstock for all the citrus that I'm growing, and mainly for the brown select satsuma. The brown select satsuma is hardy down to, I got this from Stan the Citrus Man up in South Carolina, and he's had this down to, I want to say 13 degrees, and it survived. So this is one of the cuttings off of his tree. So my goal is to be able to take the rootstock from this and use that as my scion as it grows and create more of the brown select satsumas. Now I can do the same thing with the Miwa kumquat, but the Miwa kumquat is only cold hardy down to maybe 20 degrees. So in Georgia, that would be normal under normal circumstances, but because Georgia, no, I'm old school. I don't have Cash App. I'm still on what is the thing I got? The PayPal. I'm still on PayPal. No Cash App, no Venmo. I don't do any of that stuff. I'm real funny about putting my bank information on things. So I'm still old school when it comes down to that kind of stuff. I got a PayPal. PayPal kind of filters everything for me. I've been using PayPal for almost 25 years. I've never had an issue with PayPal. I have the PayPal business account. So if you want, it's inquiry at growingoutthebox.com. That's it. That's my PayPal. Inquiry at growingoutthebox.com. Nope. Zelle. Nope. I'm old school. So it's the same thing with my sister be laughing at me because she'll say stuff like, boy, you cannot wear an outfit where your shoes don't match. Today I got on flip flops. I'm finna go out and get some tires put on my truck. So I just wanted to kind of walk guys around just to let you see. And again, going back over here, he did what? Yeah, Joe, he's trying to super sticker. Like I said, these are gonna come up. Oh, there's our hawk. You see that? This, see, I got all kind of friends around here that keeps things regulated. This is what keeps the squirrels out because the squirrels have to come through this. Let me see if I can get a good picture of him. Can you see him? There's a family of hawks in this tree, and you see him right there. I don't know if you can see him. Blow it up. That sucker's huge. You see him? Oh, he got something. That's why we don't have squirrels around here. Actually, actually, I have been thinking about doing chickens. That's something that I was considering for next year, maybe. With my schedule, I still work. So for anybody who's saying they can't garden and work at the same time, I work. I work 12-hour shifts. As a matter of fact, I work from 8 to 8, and I work every other 2 days. So if I work Monday and Tuesday, I'm off Wednesday and Thursday. And then if I work Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, I'm off Friday, Saturday, Sunday of the following week. So I have a really good schedule. And that's what allows me to be out here in the garden on the days that I go. But my morning routine, see, we got another super chat. Oh, wow. Thank you. Who's that? Sonny, I, I appreciate you, Sonny, from the UK. I really do appreciate that. But again, I work just like everybody else. But well, you know what? My wife is when the hawks are out, she is very protective of that cat. That's her cat, Marcello. He follows her around like a little puppy. I mean, we call him Cat Dog because he literally comes when you whistle. Like most cats, you don't really get that kind of response out of him, but literally, if you call him with a whistle, he comes running. He follows you around just like a little puppy. So yeah, that's Marcello. He's the cat dog. Let me I'm gonna show you what I'm talking about. You see? That's cat dog. He'll follow us all around the garden and he'll just squat right there in that little position until something lands. And I've seen him catch a bird out the sky. He's an excellent hunter. And this is his domain out here. He, uh, he hangs out with me in the garden and I welcome him. And the story behind Marcello, I don't know if you want to say divine intervention, but yeah, cat dog. He's cat dog. He'll follow you all the way around the garden. Like I say, my neighbor, Miss Barbara, and I'm walk over here and show you. Miss Barbara passed 3 years ago, and on Miss Barbara's last request, that's where this came from. This wrought iron set right here. This belonged to Miss Barbara. A lot of these little planters here, all of this stuff belonged to Miss Barbara. Miss Barbara used to be out in her garden every single day, and the blessing of the whole thing was, like I said, with her gifting me a lot, pretty much everything that was in her backyard to go into the garden because she felt like that I would actually put it to use, and I have absolutely put that to use. We have breakfast, we have dinner over at that table. But when they were getting ready to sell the house and cleaning it out, Miss Barbara had several cats. Marcello was kind of like the odd child. He really didn't like to be around people. Miss Barbara's single, um, 79, 80 years old. So they were having a problem catching him. And they opened the door, he ended up getting out. So he was just basically roaming around. The neighbors were putting out food for him, but he wouldn't let anybody get close to him. So we were talking with Miss Karen, who was the executor of the estate. And Miss Karen was talking about how they were trying to catch Marcello so they could take him to the pound and see what they could do with him because they really didn't had anybody that wanted him. And no sooner than we were having this conversation on the property line, Marcelo comes around the corner and he eases up, walks up real slow, and just lays down at my wife's foot. And of course, that was very emotional for a cat that they were saying nobody could catch. He was running from everybody because they were trying to catch him. And then here we are at the gate at the property line talking about him, and he walks up and lays down at her feet. So my wife tears up, and he's kind of been Marcelo been rocking with us ever since. And I just think that was Miss Barber, just sending her blessings and letting us know that she was still with us. And she knew that Marcelo would be in a good place by coming just next door. But he has been a great addition to the family. Yeah. And I'm not a cat guy. I tell you that right off the rip. I'm not a cat guy. But I have grown very fond of Marcelo. That's my little buddy now. So we got another. Who's that? Patriot Carter. Excuse me if I'm saying the name wrong. I appreciate this super chat. I think somebody asked about the blackberries. I don't know if they were meant the blueberries, but these are my blackberries here. Actually, all my little raspberries. This is a purple raspberry here. I got to go back in and prune these out because these fruited already this year, so they won't fruit again. Go ahead and prune those out, and we'll get another burst going into the fall. This is a blackberry here. This sucker's huge. That's a blackberry. This is a golden raspberry here, and she'll fruit again in the fall. What some people call these fall.
Super Soda Jerk asked where you get your knowledge from.
Uh,
Somebody taught you.
where did I get my knowledge from? I get my knowledge from you guys, believe it or not. I've always been a pretty good resource in terms of search when people would go through things, and I'm just talking about on some personal stuff. And this is kind of like how I ended up in the garden. People would always call me asking for the answers. And part of that is because I'm pretty good at search. So in searching whatever it is going on, whether it be finances, pretty decent with the credit, pretty much everything. Everybody calls me when they have a situation. So kind of going over into the garden after 2020, it became pretty much the same thing. So when you would ask me questions, and I say I give credit, and I say this all the time, none of this is possible without you because you tell me what it is that you want to see. You tell me what it is you want to grow. You ask the questions, and my job is to go and find the answers. And in finding those answers, I just don't want to be able to relay what it is that I heard someone say. I then want to grow it. Not only do I want to grow it, then I start discovering the hidden jewels behind whatever it is that you ask me to grow. I mean, something that, like the fig, for example, it's a fascinating bush. Now, I think I saw David Core with the crop with his figs the other day. Now, what's fascinating about the fig is, and I've heard so many people say this, like there are no flowers, but actually, and I'm going in here picking another one of these.
Tell them to hit the like button.
Y'all hit that like button. Throw me some hearts in here. And I'm gonna see if I can sit this down and see if we could split this. But you hear people say that the fig does not make flowers, and I don't know if you know this, but actually the flowers are on the inside of the fig. This is how I discover little things like when I want to do a video on something, I do my research on the unique things that the plant offers. But the fig actually has the flowers on the inside. Now, you see this little pinhole at the bottom? There's what they call a Smyrna fig. And the Smyrna fig actually has a wasp that goes in there, and that wasp dies inside the fig. And there's an enzyme inside the fig that decays that wasp. I'm not going to say you're eating the wasp, but the wasp never comes out of that. And that's what they call a Smyrna fig. Now, this is a common fig. This is a brown turkey, which is called a common fig. But if you look up Smyrna fig, you'll see where the wasp actually goes into this little hole on the end and it fertilizes the flowers on the inside. So when you bite into a fig, split this open for me, darling. And I'm gonna show you what I'm talking about. She's gonna split that open for me because I got one hand holding the camera. Just split it. Okay. You see the inside of this? Those are actually fruit. You got hundreds of fruit in there from those hundreds of flowers. So those are the unique things, and they just, I don't know, maybe I'm a nerd at heart, but those are the things that interest me in the plants. So some people say they grow their plants to see how much food they can grow. I grow to see how much I can grow. And to just to kind of reiterate that I grow to see how much I can grow, and that is to understand a little better about the things that go on in life. But that's all of those little stringy little things on the inside there, those are actually flowers, and attached to those flowers are now fruit. There are hundreds of fruit inside of the fig. So for anybody to tell you that a fig does not flower, well, I hate to tell you, but that's incorrect. The fig actually does flower. It's inside the fruit. Isn't that amazing?
Mm-hmm.
Those are just, some of the things that I like. And, I have to have a little taste. The brown turkey has like a watermelon type flavor to it. They're delicious. But I was actually going to do a video on the brown turkey, actually harvesting the figs after seeing David Cord with the crops doing his video. And I asked him to do a little thing showing me his figs. And he has a Kubota fig, which is huge figs. So I have, like I said, my four, one, two, three, four. I have four different varieties. I wanted to see what the difference would be in growing them in the ground as opposed to growing them in pots. And that's again, some of the things that I do because you guys asked me, because you asked the questions. So I go try to find the answers. And then looking for the answers, I want to actually do it so I can show you the example. This bush is only 3 years old. And she is, I mean, this just figs everywhere on it. I'm going to zip that back up. And that's one of my blueberry nettings here. And I can come out here every day and get a bowl of figs. That's just how fast they turn. This by tomorrow will have swollen up, and you'll say what they call it nodding. You see how straight that is now? That's not ready. What it'll do is it'll droop, and that's what they call nodding or drooping. And it'll be like a little wop side going down, and that's how you know that it's ready. And even between morning and night, you'll come back here and they'll come ripen as well. So I appreciate you guys for kind of just let me just kind of walk and rant. We're gonna try to do us a little, I would say a garden tour, but I guess that was a garden tour all in a nutshell. So we're gonna just say peace.